Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Cassie, and today I want to talk about Gamescom. They had several different showcases this week, and I watched most of them, at least the big main ones and the indie ones. But I wanted to kind of highlight 10 games that I thought looked really cool. Now, I usually watch most of these showcases anyway, so a lot of the games that are shown I've seen in the past, but there were a few surprises, some games that I did not know about at all that I'm looking forward to. I did make a post of like 30 something games covering Gamescom, Opening Night Live, Future Game Show, and the Indie Showcase. And I just decided to narrow it down to 10 games and games that I haven't really talked about all that much before. So I think it's a pretty good list. So trying to keep it under 20 minutes, maybe, but here goes. So, first game, obviously, like probably my game of the week that was shown, and the biggest surprise for me was Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. I am a big Lego fan, I guess, in a way. I say that, but like I've really only played through the Harry Potter games and I played through Jurassic World. Jurassic World took me like 35 hours and I platinumed it, and that's how much I liked the game. I've not played too many of the other games necessarily, but I loved Harry Potter and I loved Jurassic World. I really like Batman. I like DC a lot, like just the characters and the villains and stuff. I like Marvel as well. I'm not too big of a fan of DC live action, but the animated movies are pretty good, and some of the TV shows have been pretty good in the past too. But I do like Batman, and this is pretty cool. It looks kind of like it takes more inspiration from the Arkham series, but in Lego form. And I'm all here for it since we really don't get any Arkham games anymore. So at least I don't know what they're even doing, but there's things going on, I guess. But yeah, Lego Batman looks awesome, and I'm so stoked for this. So go check that out if you haven't yet. And don't sleep on Lego games, they're actually quite a bit of fun. And this one's actually going to have a hard mode, which they have not done before. So anybody who doesn't want to play Lego games because they're too easy, you can raise the difficulty. So that's good. A game that's been kind of promoted for a while, and a game that I have not really said anything about. I think the more I see on it, I'm interested. Cronos: A New Dawn. This is a new game from Blooper Team. They were the ones that did the Silent Hill 2 remake, and I have a hard time with horror games sometimes, although I love horror movies and I love horror books, but for some reason it's a little more tense, but there are exceptions, and I think this looks really interesting. It's kind of I have not played Dead Space, but it definitely looks like it takes inspiration from Dead Space, and I think it looks really neat. And so, yeah, I'm super excited for this. And the early previews that people have played, people are praising this and say that it's going to be really good. So I'm very hopeful for it, and hopefully I can get my hands on it and it will hit for me as well and not be too terribly scary. Yeah. Next game is Recur. This is a game that I've been following for a little bit here, and it has not been shown all too much. I think this is probably maybe the second time that we've gotten more gameplay on it, but it's basically like a puzzle platformer where you can, by like going forward or moving backwards, you rewind time and you can kind of change the outcome of what's going to happen by fixing things. So say something goes wrong, then you go backwards and it rewinds that, and then you can try a different option to get through the levels. And it looks really, really awesome, and I'm super excited for it. It comes out next year. Phantom Blade Zero. This is another one that's been kind of, talked about for over a year now. And recently I've been seeing more previews on it. And I saw Game Informer got to play some of it. I think they traveled over there and got their hands on a preview. And the more I see of this, the more I'm actually interested in it. And they've said it's actually not really like a Souls like. It's actually more Devil May Cry, which I'm not necessarily a fan of, but I think the style of this game looks really interesting and I like the setting and it looks different to me. So I'm, excited to see more of this and we'll see how that is. I'm not sure exactly when it's supposed to come out. Right now it does not have anything up on Steam and I think for now it's only coming to PlayStation 5, but they did say that it should be on PC as well at some point. This game really, I think this was my game of the Future Games showcase. It was the end of the showcase, and they showed this game, and I had a feeling I knew what was coming. It's Halloween, just like the movie. They have a single player and a multiplayer mode, and I guess like you're supposed to be going around as Jamie Lee Curtis and trying to warn the neighbors, as many neighbors as you can before Michael Myers comes out. But when the game like got revealed at the end of the like cutscene or like the gameplay trailer, and then the music started, I was like, yeah, I don't know. I love Halloween, the original Halloween. It's such a good movie, such a good like horror movie, and that music always just slaps whenever it hits. Like that's probably one of the best like soundtracks ever, or theme songs for any movie. But yeah, I'm so excited for that, and I hope it hits pretty well. Um, Woodo. This is an interesting little game. I actually played the demo for this yesterday. It's a game where they kind of like they describe it as a coloring book, a 3D coloring book you can touch. But it's basically where you have like all these like little wooden objects and you'll have kind of like these dioramas that are not filled in. So you take the wooden blocks to fit in the pieces, and as you fill in the pieces, it reveals a story. And they're really cute little characters, and I love the art style of this. And it's just a really cozy, relaxing puzzle game. And I think a lot of people who like cozy games are really gonna love this. So definitely check out the demo for this because it's really good. I actually played all the way through. I played through like I want to say like 8 demos and play tests yesterday, and there were only 2 that stood out, and the next one is the second one. So yeah, definitely look into those. Monsters Are Coming. Rock and Road is the second demo that I played yesterday, and this is a new game being published by Raw Fury. If you don't know, they released Blueprints earlier this year, which is a contender for Game of the Year. And this is another roguelike, but it's more kind of like in the vein of Vampire Survivors. And then also, if you're looking forward to Ball Pit coming from Devolver, kind of like that as well. You basically have this big city. It's like a town builder, city builder, and you're running through this kind of like narrow hallway, just kind of like Ball Pit, but you're defending the city, you're building the city, and you're collecting resources to build. And then you get like different like towers and weapons and resources that you can add. As the city gets bigger, it's harder to navigate because you've got all these obstacles and stuff that you've got to clear out, and you've got all these enemies, hordes of enemies are coming after you. And then you keep getting like all these new drops and stuff, and it's very satisfying. I finished a whole run on the demo, and then I really wanted to play more, but I'm gonna have to wait until this comes out. But definitely be on the lookout for this game. And then also check out Ball Pit as well, which is coming sometime this year. I don't think Monsters Are Coming is coming out in 2025. I think it might be next year. Ball Pit, I think, also has a demo app, so check both of those out if you're into roguelites. Next game is Blood of the Dawnwalker. This is from some devs who worked on Witcher, and they've kind of created their own studio, and this is basically like a vampire Witcher game, I guess. It's a action RPG, and you play as a human during the day, and during the night you play as a vampire, or you turn into a vampire at night. So, but it looks really interesting. Like you can climb up buildings and stuff, and there's a lot of, I guess, different things you can do. There's factions and stuff, and then you can like choose different outcomes for this game as well. But it looks really cool. Definitely look into that. I'm not really too big on vampires, to be quite honest, in general, but it does look fascinating to me. And then, of course, the 10th game is Little Nightmares 3. I'm a big fan of Little Nightmares. I loved 1 and 2. Now, Little Nightmares 3 is not by the same devs. This is actually being taken over by Supermassive. Supermassive is the team that does like The Quarry, Until Dawn, games like that. So they have not done anything like this before, so I am a little bit skeptical. But the previews look pretty good, I think. I'm definitely more excited for Reanimal, which is actually coming from the devs that made Little Nightmares. They went on to do something else. I think they kind of wanted to do something a little more intense, but I think the publishers didn't allow them to or something. So, yeah, so Reanimal's going to be really good, but that'll be next year, I think. But yeah, Little Nightmares 3, it does have the option to jump in as co-op, or you can play solo. So I'm a solo person. I like solo play, just because I don't have to rely on somebody else. I like to play through a whole campaign, and you can't always expect somebody to play through the entire game with you. So unless you got somebody like at home or something that's gonna play side by side with you, I think. Yeah, so that's 10 games, and I made it under 20 minutes. I didn't blabber on too long. But yeah, definitely look into those games and check out the showcases if you haven't. I don't think they weren't, I think they were good. I don't think they were like amazing. There were obviously like, I like a wide variety of games and like genres and stuff, whereas some people have more like niche things, or they like kind of only like a couple of different types of games. So it may not be for everybody, I'm sure. I know that, like, uh, that's just the way it goes. But yeah, definitely, I think look into the Future Games Show showcase. And even the after show, I think that one was actually pretty good. There were more things revealed in the after show than there were like during the main show. Opening night live was okay. I think all these showcases kind of had some pacing issues, and the indie showcase wasn't really that great. I think that was my lowest one, which usually is not the case. But there's also a showcase next week for the mix, and they typically have some good stuff to show. So we'll see what is shown there. And of course, I've got plenty of others that I'm looking forward to. I just wanted to keep this in a shorter video. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next week with games that I am excited for next month. So see you later.